Hey, I'm DJ. This is Rise Through Concrete, and as always, we're failing forward and filling in the blanks along the way. While we could get it on the first try, we might not. That won't stop us. Nonetheless, this is where the adventure begins. So, before we get started, I got a guest with me today, and I want you guys to get to know him like I've gotten to know him. I'm going to let him introduce himself. So,
let's see. My name is Chris. I am the loving and supporting husband of the creator of said podcast. I'm here to show the support that I know that she needs the best way that I know how. I may be in and out of this podcast in future episodes, but hey, I'm here when I'm needed.
Okay, so yes, I'll take that. He's sharing. He's in this episode. He can jump in and out of episodes. It's a free-for-all. I would put it like this. Nobody is going to make it where they are in life by themselves. And quite frankly, same goes here, right? I have a whole group of people, amazing people who have continued to pour into me to help me along the way. And so the goal is, I'd like for you guys to get to meet them and get to know them like I've gotten to know them. So I don't want to kind of sit in that space. I want you guys to get to know Chris like I've gotten to know him, and you guys will most definitely have the opportunity to do that. Now, today's episode, the question that we're going to be focusing on is, who is the strongest person you know, and how do you wish to be more like them? Now, I don't know about y'all, but I feel like I have a couple people. So, as always, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, and LinkedIn, whatever social media platform you see it on, let me know what you think. Let me know who the strongest person or people, not even just one person, but people, you have in your circle. And I think this one is actually right on time, right? That Chris is here and he's sharing this episode, just being given the opportunity to share this space with him. He is one of those people. He is strong in his own way, and I love that about him. But I want to hear and see who you guys consider strong. Let me see a picture. Let me see, just share that with me. Who do you think is strong? And, how, would you like to be more like that person or those people? Chris, you want to take this one first?
Yeah, sure. Let's see, a strong person. The first person that comes to mind would have to be my mother. I don't know if that's a necessary given, but she is the first individual that comes to my mind when I think about strong people in my life. I say that because my mother single-handedly not single-handedly. It took a village to raise her three extremely somewhat annoying children, but a majority of the heavy lifting came from her and her alone. I will say that much. She could have probably gone down the same route as what our biological fathers did and either had very little to do with the way that we were raised or very little to influence us in the way that we grew up, but she was always there doing the good, the bad, the ugly, the misunderstood, the unusual. She was always supporting us. I think that it is because of her that I try to, be a better person in certain aspects. I know that whenever I'm cleaning or trying to get things done around the house, I usually have to look up to the sky and know my mother's not dead, but I can imagine her up in the clouds if she were spiritually looking at me, holding a bottle of bleach saying, "Hey, you got this."
Oh, wow. I've seen you do that.
Yeah.
I've seen you do that.
I have my moments.
You do have your moments.
When those moments come, I
call on the power
her.
of your mother when you're cleaning. I do see you. And anytime we have to like really like dig in and get it done, like that is where that is the happy place to be in. Yeah, I totally see that. I think, like you though, I think when we start talking about like the strongest person, I would have to say it would be my mom, and my dad. I think for me though, it's like I always try to approach the question like it's so hard to pick one person though. Like I wanna break it apart and like look at it from different areas of my life, because I feel like everybody's gonna have a strength and a weakness. And for me, I also want to embrace those weaknesses or those areas where I'm like challenged the most. But I also want to share that even having those weaknesses is something to be proud about, because I'm able to share that, right? It's not often that you have somebody in your life who's able and willing to say like, hey, this is something that I'm not really good at and I'm okay with sharing that. And I don't think I've always had that type of person in my life. I can honestly say that between my parents, they both bring something really strong to the table. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to like professionally, like in my career, I've had so many people in different chapters of my life really come in and like shake me up and like pour into me and say like, hey, this is what I see in you. Let's move in this direction, right? Yeah. So I really try to take that guidance and use it wisely and really call on it when I need it. And it's so weird because it's like a mix of things when I am in certain situations. And then when it comes to relationships, it's like I'm leaning on strong relationships that I've had the opportunity to see and I can relate to.
And just asking, these relationships that you and your mother and your father had?
No, not necessarily, because and I think so. Just to clarify, no. So, and that's because my mom and my dad aren't married. And for me, I have to be very clear that that's why I think I can't answer the question with like one person, because I look at myself as a collective. I look at myself as ever evolving, right? So I'm going to learn from different people so that I can work on myself as a whole. But in order for me to do that, I need to be very intentional about what that looks like. I have to look at my relationships. I have to look at my family. I have to look at my career. I have to look at what I'm doing when it comes to my mental health. Like all of those things for me are separate. And when I go to put it together, I have to manage it differently. So I think there's like a group of people or a small group of people that I can kind of go to kind of refill and recharge. So I don't know if I can really answer the question.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you guys, but I think that was a pretty good, solid answer for the topic at hand. I don't think that I could have said anything better, but at the same time, I'm not trying to compare what she said to me.
I feel like I'm all over the place.
All over the place, sure, but it does seem like it was well thought out. Mine was just short and straight to the point. I guess if I had to say anything else, I'd say that my mom is she's as tough as a stale cookie.
I don't know if that's a compliment or what, but we're not gonna give her a call. And you better hope she don't hear this.
She's not very technically savvy, so
Oh
I don't
my
think I need
gosh.
to worry about such things.
Okay.
I think I'm free.
Like,
to,
I think
to
when
say
it comes to like parenting, like it's not even like, yes, it takes a village, but it's like there's so much that happens, and like our parents make the best decisions given the situations they're in, and I never want to take that credit from them. However, when you get older, and like my mom and my dad both were very clear, it's like when you get older, if you feel like you could do better or there are things that I could have done better, I want you to do them. They were very clear and very objective about it. And it hurt me in that moment because I'm like, no, but you did the best you could. Like, you did the best. And I didn't recognize how much, and this is no disrespect to them at all, because I think I've had a very well-diverse and culturally well-rounded upbringing, but I have suffered trauma, but who hasn't, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
There are so many things that I wish I could have redone, but I would not be the same. So for the experiences that I've had, I'm grateful for them and where I've come out on the other side of it. I'm grateful that my parents have been very clear with me about the choices that they've made, and I'm grateful that they've put me in the position to learn from what they've done.
Yeah.
They are the strongest people I could ever have in my life, because without them setting me up the way they did, I could never take charge of my life now, and connect with the people I've been able to connect with now. Professionally, personally, romantically, whatever, however you put it. And for that, I'm forever grateful. But it takes a lot of soul searching and a lot of therapy. But it's hard because you never really want to say like, oh my God, my parents messed up.
No, I totally understand.
Right, but it's hard because at the same time they're like, oh well, if you could do better, do it. And I find that weird gray line where it's like, yeah, you could have, because this hurt. Yes, I'm learning how to deal with it and manage and embrace that change. And in therapy, you're learning how to really navigate that space. Because now with our kids, it's let's try to address it on the front end. Let's be proactive instead of reactive. Let's really map this out. The approach is different, and you're still thinking about your own experiences in that space.
Oh yeah.
It's just a lot to handle, right? And your parents are also looking at it from the other side because they're no longer in that space with you. So it's just awkward, I think, for me on the other side of it, because I don't know, and being a Black girl when you don't have both parents in the home with you, growing up, however, you do have a lot of those experiences that are very helpful for you, that set you up in a really great space. Not to say you don't have a good relationship with your father or a positive one, which I did. It does have an impact on you. So I'm having mixed emotions about it, which is why it's like, yeah, you have great, strong people, but what does that mean for you? So yeah, I think that's why it's like really, really weird. But for you, like, I think your mom is great. I love the way you speak about her. I love, her strength. I most definitely can't undervalue parents overall. And of course, like when we become parents ourselves, if that's something we choose to do, it's a conversation that lends itself to really become reflective on the journey of parenthood with our parents, like if you're able to do it.
Oh yeah.
Did you have anything, to add about your mom?
Not really. I do know that growing up, she did, in a sense, tend to reflect a lot on the way that she was raised by her mother, my grandmother, and she at least tried to give us an option, like a choice as to how it was that we wanted to live our lives. It was strict to some degree, but I felt like that it was necessary, especially during the time that we had grown up, especially in the area that we had lived in. We were either going to become a product of the environment that we lived in, or we were going to become something better. And she was damn determined to make sure we were going to be something better.
Yeah.
But again, she also gave us the freedom to choose how it is we wanted to live our lives, so long as we were positive and productive in the things that we did, and pretty much happy as to how we're going about doing it. She always gave us the support and love that we needed to get through.
I love that.
Oh yeah, totally. My brother became an artist. I became a computer technician, and my little sister decided to do concierge and customer service, something along those lines. She influenced us to be the best that we can, so long as we were happy doing what it is that we wanted to do. And I think that freedom means a lot. Again, growing up in the neighborhood that we did in Southeast back in the 90s, it certainly did mean a lot. I think it also gave me the ability to keep an open mind with different individuals that did not look like me, as well as, I would say, gave me an open perspective as the type of music that I have grown to love now as an adult. By not being closed-minded with the way I listen to music, I seem to have grown to love different genres of music that does not reflect the color of my skin, let alone the neighborhood that I lived in. And I think about that all the time, and it means a lot to me. It's difficult to explain, but even after I just explained it, it is still kind of weird.
It makes you think about it a little bit more.
Oh yeah, just a little bit. It makes me appreciate it a little bit more. I mean, I can imagine, had I just solely been exposed to one particular thing, or, not wanting to explore, or having the freedom to explore that my mother allowed me to, and what, things I was interested in, that my mental, I guess, perspective of the world and things around me would have become completely different. Again, thanks to her giving me the freedom I wanted to do what I wanted. To some creative degree, I have grown a different perspective in life and the things around me in general.
That's awesome. So, as we wrap this side up, I want you guys to hold on for a couple seconds. We got a couple messages, and as soon as we come back, we're gonna give you guys a couple highlights here. And of course, don't forget, I really want you guys to answer that question as well. I'm really, really interested. And I know Chris is probably interested as well. We'd love to hear from you. Who is the strongest person in your life, and how do you want to be most like them? You'll hear our responses right after this. Hey, and we're back. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's re-highlight where we left off. Question of the day, or for this week, is really, who is the strongest person you know, and how do you wish to be more like them? Now, I know I really just feel like I've been all over the place with this, because I don't feel like I can really just put one person in that space. And sounds like, Chris, you have really just kind of given your mom that trophy, and that really goes to her, which is great. How can we really wrap this in a way where we can share with people, a really good way forward, when thinking about, the strongest person?
I guess when it comes to the strongest person, it doesn't necessarily at all have to be anybody that can lift the most weight. However it is that you define strength, whether it be physical strength or I guess what is that word that I'm looking for?
Emotional.
An emotional strength. Yes, it can be that as well. That person could, gain the title of strongest person that you know. Again, I chose my mother because of her willingness to raise us the way that she did, raise us the way she saw fit, raise us the best way that she knew how. And in doing so, she is a strong woman in my eyes. And I don't think that anybody can take that title away from her. They can try, but I doubt very seriously they'll ever be successful.
Or get very far.
Oh, no, not at all.
All right. I mean, you heard it. He ain't taking it back. That's where he left off. For me, I think, my parents aren't going to take that title. They're the closest things to me. I think, when it comes professionally, I think every chapter of my life has somebody different that sits there.
Ooh, someone's tired.
I'm getting there. I think, when we talk about so many other parts of my life, there have been so many people I've had the opportunity to really connect with that have really exemplified strength, that it has truly touched me in a way that it speaks volumes. And I didn't bring her up before, but, as we wrap this up, I really just want to give a shout out to a friend that I lost, Felicia Mathis. She was a friend of mine and she passed away. She is extremely strong, and I speak about her in a present tense because she is that strong of a person spiritually now. Just the way she held her family together, no matter what they were going through. She cared deeply about every last person she touched, every last individual she came in contact with, and she loved what she did. And no matter what you asked her, I know one thing she constantly said she wanted to do, it was just care for people. She just wanted to do what she did. I honestly wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now if it wasn't for me just having conversations with her and just sitting there talking to her, just battling with self-doubt personally. Just sitting there and having a conversation with her, whether you knew her for a day, a week, a year, 10 years, or 100 years, just having a conversation with her, no matter what she was going through, she would reassure you that, whatever you are going through, she was going to be transparent with you. She was going to tell you like it was in that moment, and it is what it is. Like, she wasn't going to sugarcoat it. And I love that about her. I truly do miss her. I have those moments where I just sit and I think about her and where she is and where she could continue to touch not just me, but just everybody, and just to see how beautiful of a life that she continued to have. I miss that about her, and I miss that about, just her husband and her children and just everybody she touched around her. So, with it, she is in that circle as well of strong people. And I'll put that there. But yeah, along with everybody else that we've named in this episode, I just needed to put that out there because I was thinking about her today.
That's adorable.
If there's nothing else, though, I will most definitely take this and wrap this up.
Oh, yeah. I think this is a pretty good recording. I'd say that's one for the books, as they so say.
All right. So with that, you guys, we're going to wrap this up. And as always, stay tuned for next week's episode and continue to build strong foundations, rise with intention, and thrive with courage and confidence. I will see you guys next week.
Night, y'all.